Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Luxor. The air smells good. The time of day is just right. I can feel it. It's time to play some Luxor. Oh, wait. Go back. Resume, not start over. Osiris Reborn. Even as Set attacked Osiris before, now he does so again. The Pharaoh's Ka must not fail here. If Osiris the Resurrected succumbs to the chaos, what afterlife will there be for the Ka? So now we're basically defending heaven. Man, the stakes have never been higher. This is some medium rare stake right here. So, how are all of you guys doing today? You doing good? I hope so. Actually, I'm gonna take it a step further. I hope everybody is fantastic today. I hope today falls within the top 10 best days you've ever had. Ooh. Okay, they're coming faster now. We did not get much time to clear this line out. And I am struggle busting. Okay, no, we just started. We can't have this crap happen. We just begun. Don't worry, Osiris. It's just a hiccup. You're gonna be fine. I'm gonna rid you of these bugs. Honestly, it's a corpse. Would bugs want to crawl on it? Well, this is a special guy. I will protect him at all costs. See, I hope everyone's just having a chill day today. Hope it's not too stressful. And if you did have a stressful day, either today or a recent day, hopefully I can cheer you. It's still too bad I can't play the first two Luxors. Those were classics. I remember way back in the day, 2006, going to my grandpa's house, booting up Windows XP. You know, the box computers that look like old TVs, and just playing this all day. That was a time to be alive. You know what? Being an adult's cool and all. Getting to go to White Castle whenever I want. Having the freedom. Some days, though, I want to go back. Turn back the clock. Go find a DeLorean somewhere. Or a telephone. Or, I'm going to mix together all the energy drinks and run. Hopefully make the Earth spin the other way, and then we'll turn back time that way. It's more than one way to get things done around. Where'd he? He's going. You coward! Ooh, he's coming back. Alright, statement withdrawn. You're gonna die braver than most. And we're really not messing around here anymore. So I'm not entirely sure how this color replacer works, because with the color cloud, you get a radius, and it makes that whole area the same color. Is it whatever color I hit gets replaced with whatever color the power-up is? I'm really not sure. I'm gonna have to pay attention next time I see it. Everything's all slow. I don't know why it howls every time we get a power. It's not that exciting. It almost sounds like someone crying for help. It's a little disturbing. Well, I guess we're being attacked by hell bugs. So there is a reason to panic here. Alright, first level of stage 6 is in the books. See you again in survival. Yes, so I'd like to continue. Here, get it. Okay, feel like that was good. Feel like that was what I was supposed to do. Now we've got a bit of a conundrum here. If I clear out these 2 reds, okay, we're gonna end up with just yellow and white. But just one yellow is not gonna take care of it. So, wait, think I know what to do. Now, we're gonna do this. First try, let's go. You achieved a new rank, Provider of Sustenance. So I'm a waiter. So, my first day at Burrito Horn as not a customer. I walk in there, all uniformed up, ready to go. And the GM that we had at the time, we're gonna call him Mr. Pretzel. So Mr. Pretzel was kind of a jerk. For example, if you did something wrong, he wouldn't really explain what you did wrong. He would kind of wait around, and he would wait for you to mess up. And then when you did, he would yell at you. Now, most managers that I have at Burrito Horn, like, when they're telling you that you did something wrong, they do it from a place as in they're concerned about you and they just want to help you get better. Mr. Pretzel, he would just yell at you for the sake of yelling. He was in it for the love of the sport. Whoops. And he also kind of had this superiority complex to him where he was above everybody else. I mean, he was the manager. But he really wore that thing with pride. He would always put people down or make people feel bad for doing stuff wrong. He just wasn't really that good of a person. And then this one guy, he was also a new hire. He walked up to him, and he literally did the classic, "Oh, your shoe's untied." And he looked down and he bopped him on the nose, like with his finger. I thought that stopped once you passed the 8th grade, but clearly I'm mistaken. And to him, it was all or nothing. For example, one time I was cleaning something, and I did a pretty good job, I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple crumbs on it, but I had that thing 99% spotless. And Mr. Pretzel walks up to me and he goes, "Well, I mean, you could get it a little cleaner." And then same thing happens again. I get it pretty much spotless, and he goes, "You know you gotta clean it all the way, right?" Like always, and it wasn't just me, it was everybody. He was always busting everybody's chops. And he was only around for a couple weeks, so I don't really remember. But he himself wouldn't do much work. He would just watch everybody else, wait for him to do something, and then he would say something. Now, one rule we have with the dish station, it's a triple sink. So all the way to the left, you got the main sink, where all the dish soap is, and that's where you clean the dishes. There's the middle sink, and then there's the far right one, which has sanitizer in it. Well, somebody royally screwed up, and the middle sink was full of gunk. And you're supposed to keep the sinks as clean as possible, because you're doing dishes. You don't want them. You don't want the sinks dirty, because if the sink's dirty, the dishes aren't really gonna get clean. So I clock in, I walk over, and it looks like somebody took a crap in the sink. And Mr. Pretzel walks over, and he goes, "So, do I have to yell at somebody, or what's going on here?" And the way he's talking, it sounds like he's gonna, like, blame me for it, which, thankfully, he didn't. But he was like, "Okay, someone here's getting yelled at today. I'm not having this crap." I swear, Mr. Pretzel was like a character in The Office that nobody's supposed to like. And they did a very good job. Yeah, Mr. Pretzel would always have a comment. Like, he liked things done perfectly. So you could be doing your absolute best, trying to get the work done. And he would always have some comment like, "Well, I mean, it's good, but you could have done better." Like, he could never just be happy. In fact, actually, I do not think I ever saw him smile not one time. Not once. He always kind of had this RBF face going on. Now, I know that I'm one to talk because I myself have very bad RBF, but Mr. Pretzel took it to a whole nother level. He had super RBF. It just seemed like he was always in a bad mood. And me, as well as everybody else, were doing our best to do a good job at our jobs. And he was always condescending. And even the other managers didn't really like him. Like, "Man, Mr. Pretzel is such a dick. Man, he's bad. He's salty." Yeah, he was a very salty pretzel, to say the least. Now, one thing I will say, regardless of if you go to college, regardless of what type of job you work, you could be a businessman, you could be a fast food cook, you could be a lawyer. I think we can all agree the people you work with, especially the management, can really make or break the work experience. Now, you don't have to like the people you work with, but if you do, it makes the job go by a whole lot easier. And I can safely say I do like the people I work with. Well, except for Mr. Pretzel. But especially management. If you got bad management, that just kills everything. The employee morale goes down. The other managers, who also didn't like Mr. Pretzel, their morale goes down. And when that goes down, that's the first domino. Then you start getting bad work quality. And then stuff gets put on the back burner. And it just creates this whole thing. Now, thankfully, after about 2 weeks of me being there, he was going to be fired, but he quit because he knew he was going to be asked. And our AGM at the time, she was going to quit because of Mr. Pretzel. She's like, "I can't do this. I'm putting my 2 weeks in." Now, my boss's boss, what are we going to call him? Here, hold on. I got to concentrate. 1, 2, and 3. That onslaught was pretty difficult. I probably should have destroyed a couple of those statues on the right. Jigs up, people. Get it. You know, I can't quite do the noise, the clicking noise, when you're trying to call your cat over. It just sounds like I'm sucking on a Capri Sun. I can't really click properly. I can kind of, yeah, it just doesn't sound good. So I can't whistle and I can't click. Those are my two things I can't do. So anyway. So like I said, even the other managers were not fond of Mr. Pretzel. Which usually in this situation is just the employees, but the fact that the other people in charge were like, this guy, so that was a telltale sign. So my boss's boss, we're going to call him Rob. So the AGM mentions to Rob that she wants to quit. I didn't see this happen. I was just told. Rob's like, just wait 2 weeks. Just wait and see. And she goes, alright, I'll wait. And before he knew it, Mr. Pretzel was gone. Now apparently I was there for the very tail end of the wrath of Mr. Pretzel. For about a year or so, maybe longer, he had a stranglehold on the burrito horn. And apparently he was always a jerk. I thought, you know, I always try to look on the bright side. And I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, you know, maybe he's just going through a hard time in his life. You know, maybe something went wrong outside of work. But no, according to all my coworkers and managers, that was just how he was. So yeah, Rob gave Mr. Pretzel the old boot, and he's moved on to a whole new bag. Now I will say, I think he left there as well, but the Walmart that I shop at, I saw him there once, and he was working at customer service, and I'm happy to report that he has not changed a single bit. Still rude, and still mean-mugging. And then there's this one time, I almost intervened, but I didn't, because I didn't want to make it worse. I was unloading my groceries into my trunk, and Mr. Pretzel is yelling at this poor girl, and he goes, well, it's not my fault that you suck at your job. Jeez. Now our new GM, apparently he also... I had a voice crack. He also saw Mr. Pretzel being a jerk to somebody at the Walmart, and he actually came in and said, you know, hey, knock it off. Now let me tell you, our new GM, way, way better than Mr. Pretzel. We're gonna call him Mr. Cheez-It, because Cheez-Its are way better than pretzels. Pretzels are okay, but Cheez-Its, I love Cheez-Its. So Mr. Cheez-It, he's a great GM. Yeah, Mr. Pretzel, I'm sorry. You suck. You were too salty and you were always mean-mugging. Is it just me, or is there less time now between when new bugs come in? I think there's less time. Now, if I remember correctly, I think there's 13 stages, so we're at about the halfway point. So basically what I'm saying is no more messing around. It's time to tighten the old bootstraps. And let me tell you, as soon as Mr. Pretzel walked out of that door for the final time, there was a noticeable change in, like, productivity. Everyone's mood was better. Like, it was like a curse was lifted. Long live Mr. Cheez-It. So, the first few days I was at Burrito Horn, I was cleaning. I'd be doing dishes, or I'd be taking out the garbage. I'd be just keeping the place nice and tidy. And then one day, they trained me on service. Now, at the time, there were three different positions at Burrito Horn. There was Service Champion, which is where you talk to the customers. There's Food Champion, where you make the food. And then there's Cleaning Captain. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, if you could do both food and service, you were a Fire Champion. And then from there, you would just be a manager. So after a few days of cleaning, they let me work the window. And they start with just having me cash people out. Like, they come up to the window. Hello, sir, it's gonna be $15. Take their change, give it to them. Thank you, sir. So I did that for a couple days, and that went pretty well. And then they had me do the other part where I actually put the headset on and take orders. Now, the person who was overseeing me, this manager, she also quit pretty shortly after I got there. We're gonna call her Brie Cheese. So, Brie Cheese, she was not nearly as bad as Mr. Pretzel, but the thing about Brie Cheese, she had a very short fuse. She was a good teacher, but she got frustrated very easily, especially the new hires. So if you messed up in a big way, she would just send you away. Or honestly, even if you messed up minorly, she's like, you can go do this now. So I'm taking the orders, and it's been updated since now, but the POS system that we had a few years ago at Burrito Horn, it was not good. So there were a few things wrong with this system. So Burrito Horn, they got tacos, burritos, cheese gordita crunches. They didn't really sort it on the cash register. There was no real organization. So for example, now it's sorted by taco, burrito, specialty. Back then, it didn't really do that. It was just all on one screen. Like, here's everything. Here you go. So it took me a good 20 seconds per item to find whatever they wanted. I'd ask for a taco. So I'm looking for the taco. And it's not even alphabetical, it's just randomly, just all... It's like somebody threw up on the screen, and all the items are just randomized. So I'm taking a good 30 seconds looking for the taco button. Like, okay, here it is. Alright? And it was pretty much like that every time. Hold that thought. We gotta concentrate. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Gonna do that. Oh, wait. Oh, nope, I got it. I got a little worried for a second. We're already on the 7th level? It's only been 23 minutes. It's going by fast. Now, mentally, I'm a little on the slow side. It takes me a while to get the hang of things when I first learn them. And even after I learn the process of something, I'm not entirely sure how to describe it. Like, I still gotta think about it. Like, it takes a few seconds between my brain and my body to do something. And like I said, Brie Cheese, short fuse. So, I'd be looking for whatever the customer ordered, and she would come in like, here, it's right here. So long story short, I didn't really get to do anything, because if I took too long, she would just come in and kind of take over. But the thing was, like, she wasn't really helping me out, she was just kind of doing it for me. And then at one point, she left to go do something. She's like, alright, I'm gonna leave for a bit. You got it? I'm like, yeah, I got it. And she came back a couple minutes later, and there were a few customers in line at the drive-thru, and they weren't big orders. I was keeping a pretty good pace, and she just freaked out. She's like, look at all these customers, what are you doing? You're going way too slow. And there was literally like 3 people, it was not busy at all. And 2 of them were just a taco and a burrito. I was like, get out of here, I'll take care of it. Oh, I thought I could hit both the balls and the statue. So, for a couple days in a row, I would go on the register, and like I said, it wasn't organized well, so I tried to look for something, take me a little bit. And if Brie Cheese was working, she wouldn't really let me do anything on my own. She would kind of just take over the whole operation. Which I get, like, it's a fast food restaurant, you gotta keep things moving. But she still could have been a little more hands-off. Like, could help me a little bit more. Alright, where's this wild going? It's going right here. So eventually what started happening is Brie Cheese would have me go on the dishes, which was fine with me, because honestly, cleaning is probably the most relaxing thing you can do at any job. So it's a nice little breather. So I get done with the dishes, and then I would come back like, hey, you want me to work the register again? And she's like, no, you can go take the garbage out or something. Like, okay, so I did. And then it got to a point where every time I would come in, I would ask like, hey, what do you want me to go do? And almost universally, the answer was either dishes or garbage. And then it got to a point where I stopped asking, I just went to the dishes by default. And then for a couple years, I just cleaned. And also with the old registers, they buffered a lot. So if somebody wanted a taco, you'd bring in a taco, and the register itself would take about 5 seconds to process it. So even the register was, I'm like, what's this taco that you speak of? So it just added to the time that we had to wait. So I think it was a mixture of me being new, and also just not having a good system when ordering. And also Brie Cheese having to not be the most patient person in the world. All those things combined was what led to me being the cleaning captain. And no joke, for like 2 years, that's what I did. But honestly, I don't really mind, because like I said, when you're cleaning, it's a lot more slow-paced. You don't have to worry about customers or trying to make food really fast. Now, I'd say after about a month of me getting there, Brie Cheese was gone. The Well of Anubis. Isn't that the god of the underworld? Are we in hell right now? Yep, it's official. We went to hell. Oh, by the way, look at the bottom left corner. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that's real nice. Real nice. See, unfortunately, back then, I didn't really get a chance to work on anything else. Because I would mess up one time, like, okay, you're done. And that was one thing, when I first started at Burrito Horn, we had a couple lackluster managers. But I'm happy to report that those people are gone, and now we got people like Mr. Cheez-It that are awesome. So Mr. Cheez-It, he's the closest to me in age. He was born a couple months before I was. Nobody else is really close to us. Our AGM is 21, which is 2 years before us. The oldest person we have is 60-something. And then the youngest people we have, sometimes we'll get a high school student for a few months during the summer. So, age-wise, it's kind of all over the place. Now, the reason this is important is because I feel like most bosses or most higher-ups, they're older. Because when I say the word boss, you probably think of some old guy behind a desk like, I need the report by 8 o'clock tomorrow. Mr. Cheez-It, he's like a trumpet. Whatever you put into the trumpet, that's what you're gonna get out. So if you come to work and you're giving it 100%, he's gonna be cool. The only time I see Mr. Cheez-It angry is when someone's slacking off. Which, in my opinion, that's completely reasonable. And most, I'd say 99% of the time, I come into work and I like to take pride in my work. I like to do a good job. Because the way I see it, you're taking the time and effort to go to this place, and you gotta do your job anyway. So you might as well put effort. That's just how I operate. So me and Mr. Cheez-It don't really have any problems. And also, because we're so close in age, we can relate to each other a little more. He's not an archaic fossil, so he actually understands, how people work. So he's able to run the restaurant better. Alright, we're almost done with this line. Now, one thing that nobody likes is an egg pan. Now, unfortunately, most Taco Bells don't serve breakfast anymore. But starting, I think, October this month, Burrito Horn is going to not do breakfast anymore. Because not a lot of people show up for breakfast, so it's a big waste of money on the food. But back when I started, we still had breakfast. And I don't know what goes on, but the employees in the morning shift, they don't really do a whole lot. And it's not like they're busy, because the morning is the slowest time of the day. So every time me and the night crew would get there, there'd always be a ton of dishes. And the worst kind of dirty dish was the egg ones. With eggs, you gotta wash those right away, because if you don't, they get crusty and it's almost impossible to get them out. So every time there's an egg pan, someone has an aneurysm. I remember specifically one time in the work group chat, our AGM Mimosa, that's what we're gonna call her. She sends a picture in the group chat with just this look of disappointment, and she's holding an egg pan. Looks like we got another difficult puzzle on our hands. Okay, I feel like... Well, these two blacks are just going to come together and not destroy each other. So that needs to be a couple. Now we can do this. There we go. You know what they say, first the worst, second is the best. So every time there's an egg pan, people scream it. Including myself, I do it as well. I'll be in the lobby in the front of the restaurant just wiping down tables, and all the way from the back of the restaurant I hear someone yell, "There's a freaking egg pan in here!" It's almost a meme at this point. Now, one of the best things about Mr. Cheez-It is he has, I call it a roadmap. He's like, alright, this person is going to do this till this time. This person is going to go here. I think it's called Balanced Kitchen. They just rebranded it. But most other managers, they kind of go on the fly based on what's going on. So if we get busier they'll shift people to one part of the restaurant or another. But Mr. Cheez-It takes it a step further and he creates a game plan for the whole night. It's like, alright, at midnight, we're gonna disassemble this whole food area, we're gonna clean it, and then we're gonna go over here and do this. So he's literally John Madden with the playbook. Now that was lucky. I missed the shot, but ended up hitting the scarab. The statue. Don't worry, Osiris. You will be saved. We will not let you succumb to Set and his minions. Alright, everybody go teal. Teal's the new black. Fun fact, teal is my favorite color. It's like the color of the ocean, but a lot brighter. It really just stands out to me. I lied. Blue's the new black. Now there is orange in this game, but that's not so much later. So you're gonna have to wait a while before we see orange. Give me that moolah. Haha, you're all sorted now. And skadoosh. No, don't open the box. And you. Whatever that stuff is, you freed it. Alright, this time I'm actually going to try to get as much gems as possible. Last time I focused on the bugs. This time I want to get rich. I gotta take it a little slower. Whoops. Just like that, our pyramid is one step closer to being finished. And it's time for me to finish my dinner. So, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Everybody, just do me a little favor. Have a great day.